100 years is a really big deal these days, and for a school to be in the same location for 100 years is something that really be celebrated, especially in a borough like Queens.
This centennial is significant because it inspires us to really reflect and look deeply to where we've been and where we are now.
This is a magical school. It is just magic. There's no way to explain.
It's not often in your life that you see something turn 100. Knowing that the school has been through so many different iterations, so many different versions of itself over the years, you really start to understand that this place is a living person.
On June 8th, 1921, the two members of the first graduating class of the Kew-Forest School stood anxiously awaiting the receipt of their diplomas. As they stood there, many thoughts crossed their minds, their futures, their dreams, and especially the excellent preparation they had received for the fields which lay before them. Certainly that first graduating class left Kew-Forest with a vast fund of knowledge. Today, the students you see before you leave Kew-Forest with the same dreams as those members of the first graduating class, only better prepared to make these dreams a reality, thanks to the advancement of learning processes and the accelerating standards of excellence demanded by a dedicated faculty, an interested alumni, and a long line of devoted leaders.
The culture of a school is really something that you feel the moment you walk in the building. It's how the people treat each other, what the energy is in the rooms. You really get a sense of what it would be like to work and to learn in that environment from the moment that you step into the place. And I really think that that is what defines the culture of a school.
Ever since I started here, the students have always been passionate learners. You don't have to force them to want to learn. They honestly want to learn.
I remember one specific time I was having a lot of trouble in science class, so I asked my teacher if he was doing an extra help session after school, and he was like, yeah, totally, come after school and I can help you.
And the more you give them, the more they'll take in, the more they'll respond to.
Kew-Forest, because it's such a small school, gives students the individual freedom to sort of pursue their goals to the fullest. When we're going to send out students every year to college and beyond, these people have drive, and they're going to change the fields that they're going to be a part of.
We are, and have been, as long as I've been here for 45 years, the premier school in the area. And we have always maintained our high level of academic excellence.
One of the core things we teach is a kind of confidence in your ideas. That's what we do in class. We have arguments. And one of the things I'm working on with the students is how to have an argument that is civil, that's logical, that's based in facts and reasoning. And I really want to teach the students how to disagree in a respectful way.
All throughout the day I'm surrounded by people who aren't like me at all. And that's a good thing because I can relate with people that seem so different but may share some very similar things with me.
It's taught me the way that we should ideally be interacting with people who have cultural and social and political differences, how we can coexist without actually butting heads all the time, and if we do butt heads, how that conflict can be resolved without there being some sort of disaster, that it is possible to not agree with someone and still to live with them and interact with them and even be friends with them.
We try to foster that a lot in our morning meeting times and our circle times, where all of the children have an opportunity to come together and really practice talking with each other, sharing ideas with each other, sharing ideas with the grown-ups that they're surrounded by.
Graduates of Kew-Forest are such good global citizens because they've learned what diversity is through their entire educational life here.
Having the students speaking different languages, having the students coming from different cultural perspectives can be a challenge in terms of miscommunications, misunderstandings, and yet that is the wonderful learning opportunity.
There is not a school at all like Kew-Forest that has as much diversity and as much of an open community as we really have here. And that's really shaped how I've interacted with my classmates throughout all my 12 years. That's what's really beautiful about Kew-Forest, is that it's so small, but because it's so diverse, you don't feel like it's small.
Everyone's opinions are equally important, and that was always what we felt as students at Kew-Forest.
Interpersonal relationships are so important here, not even just between students, but between students and teachers, teachers and administration, the faculty and the students. You really have to learn how to be thoughtful and differentiate between all of the relationships that you have here.
It's an honor to be in the position of helping young children to feel brave enough to share what they know, to feel brave enough to say, I don't know.
I think excellence is a state of being where a person is able to exceed their expectations.
It's that drive to want to learn from those experiences and to keep building and building and building.
We want students to believe in things and take stances and commit to those things, and at the same time be open-minded.
What I'd like to think that we instill in our students is this idea of an internal measure of excellence, where they are working their hardest, they're setting a pace for themselves, they are striving for continual growth in terms of their learning, and that they measure their success against themselves.
We are tomorrow's leaders.
We are citizens of the world.
We are passionate learners. We are kind. We are courageous and innovative thinkers. We are thoughtful communicators.
We're rich in history.
We are respectful of others.
We are dedicated to excellence.